How to manifest your ex back if you even want them. I'm Dr. Jane, and I'm joined by the beautiful Devi Jade, and this is Woo Woo Wednesday. Hey, Jade.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Hey, I have gotten several in the last week people asking me, can you help me manifest my ex back? And I'm like, I can. I have a story of manifesting an ex back, and then when he came back, I realized, oh, I got it all back. So what would you say to that?
I want to hear your story. That's what I want to hear.
Oh, which ones? Well, I absolutely had my heart
It worked.
broken when I manifested my ex back, or the person who called me this last week asking if I could help her do that.
Well, let's see. Hurry. Well,
Okay, I'll give you the 10 sec. I'll give you the dime tour of mine. So heartbroken, on the rebound, met my ex-husband, who I wouldn't have ever ended up with otherwise, but he was nice to me and I had just had my heart broken. Got engaged like that fast, got divorced like that fast, long enough to have a baby. Was married long enough to have a baby. And then manifested the ex back who broke my heart in the first place, because I thought, maybe he's learned his lesson. He came back immediately when he heard I was having, going through a divorce. And he came back with all the warts and, stinky farts and, everything that you have to love about a person if you're going to be in a relationship with them. And I kind of looked around and was like, yeah, see you later. And then very shortly thereafter, I was introduced to my husband, who's my best friend and wonderful, and absolutely adore him. And it's really funny because after I met Bob, my husband, the ex, was like, I really think that maybe we should exclusively date right now because I don't really like you seeing this guy. And I was like, I bet you don't. See you later. But I was so focused on, wanting him. And I mean, I actually married my ex-husband because I was angry, with him and hurt because of him. And so, anyway, yeah, manifested him back and got exactly what I wanted and realized it wasn't what I wanted at all. And I shared that story with somebody who actually called me within the last week. And she said, I want my ex back. I want my ex back. Told me everything with their relationship. And I told her that story and I said, actually getting my ex back made me realize the things that I really do like about him and still admire to this moment, but also allowed me to see what I didn't like. So it helped to bring to the surface more of what I wanted by amplifying what I don't want. And that actually prepared me to be ready for the beautiful gift that the universe had for me next, which was my husband. But she was just cemented in, no, it has to be this person. She wasn't open at all to this person may have possibly prepared me for even greater relationship happiness. And so we talked for a while about that, but she's pretty dead set on like that package. So I warned her, if you want that package back, you're going to get all of it.
good. I'm glad that you shared that because what I'm going to do with that, I'm just listening. I really am listening. And, Dr. Jane brought up really good points for you guys. And first and foremost, woo-woo people, yes. Can we help you get your man back? Yes. Are there certain things that we can do to do that? Way back here in woo-woo land? Yes. Am I going to share it with you? No. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. And the reason I'm not going to do that is because if somebody does come to me with that, I've got to look and see, number one, is your karma done? We talked a little bit about karma. There's all kinds of karma. If your karma is done with that person, which means the relationship is finished, tie with a bow, thank you very much, it's been lovely, then yes, so what we do is we get attached to these old emotions of the person that they presented to us. And for the most part, people present themselves with their best foot forward. And so our mind fell in love with that. Our little person, our little inner child attracted their little inner child and said, woo, this is great. And you had a whole bunch of fun. And then you sat down together and you grew up a little bit and you went, oh, not down this shit. Okay. So that's kind of what happens. And then the little person inside, their little person inside starts pouting and getting mad and not getting their way. And then, all the rest of the stuff happens. So I look first to see, is the karma done? If the karma is done, thank you so much. I'll do what I can to assist you why would you want to go back and replay something out that you've already played out? Okay, that's the first thing. Secondarily, if the karma is not done, then what I'll do is say, okay, we can do something about this. And we first need to work on you, because you want that person to come to your law of attraction. And if your law of attraction is down here, because that's where you guys started out, and you've raised yourself up a bit, then they need to meet you too. And maybe they haven't met you there. So you've got to do a lot of work on yourself to open a space for them to just rise if they choose. Okay. So what about this forcing people in because, Jade, you can get down there and you can look and you'll face the ball and you can light the candles and you can make everything happen for us. And if you don't think I don't get that, I do. So
that was a really good Dracula, by the way.
Yeah, well, it wasn't Dracula, but that's okay. So that's like it, but it wasn't
my Dracula.
So no, it's like the witch, you know, that they always see with the Cristobal. Yeah, that one. So anyway, what you want to do is I'll say, okay, so again, I'm going to repeat to you, we must work on you first. There's certain things you have to do, and you've got to do this thing of like, let the string out on the fish so they can have some line to swim around and figure out what they want to do too. And the more that you do work on yourself, and I really take them to task on that, then in a certain amount of time, because I'll look at a time frame, then you'll have a decision in yourself whether, actually, I don't want to, or actually I do. Then what will happen is if you bring your deities in, which is who I always do work with, not this stuff, okay, maybe a little of that. But then what happens is that person will come back in. Now that person comes back in, what you're going to find is exactly what Dr. Jane said is, maybe I don't want that, or maybe I do, but you'll be a healthier you to know what really is what is good for you as a person. And you'll be able to let that person go. Now 3, what if I work with a person and no matter what, they want their ex back, Here's my story that just happened. So I have a lot of women. I'll tell you something. Women do this a lot more than men. I get a few men clients that want their ex back, and and I'll work with them. But overall, men can kind of cut it loose and go to the next thing.
Yeah, I found that too.
It's a makeup. So, and it's not relegated to black, white, but it's just kind of how it is for the most part. So this one woman, she was in her own walk for 2 years. Now I could already see the person that was coming to her when people say, who's coming. I could see, I described him. And then I started seeing that it was her ex. I already knew I liked him. And that's a Jade thing, okay? You get the Jade green light, I mean, you're in for the best life ever. But if you don't get the Jade light, if there's a lot of red lights, let me just tell you, girls don't like that either. So I never told her though, because I knew that if I said something to her, then she was gonna sabotage it. So finally one day I said, I'm gonna laugh so hard. This is after she'd worked on herself about 1.5 years. I'm gonna be laughing when it's gonna be your ex. And she went like this, these eyeballs that women do. Okay. I'm like, yeah, no, you said that's never gonna happen. I said, well, it may happen. Because they were still friends. They are still raising a child together. They still were doing, very friendly. And he was respectful to her, and he was working on himself too. See, that's the key. He was doing it. So after so long, yes, here he came, and they got together. Now, here's what happened, girls. When you get an instruction and from your guides, and they say do A, B, C. You don't do B. Oh wait, Z. Wait, W. Wait.
Can I just do part of C, Jade? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's exactly what they do. It's like, well, but I'm going to add in some D, E, F in there. Okay, no, you've got to do exactly what they say, because they know, they can see all that, and they tell me so I can see it for you. Okay, little messenger person. So when that occurs, what she did was I said, you must not let him shop the booty. No, okay, no booty.
You've told me this story before.
I tell girls always this, don't let a guy shop the booty. He doesn't really want to go shopping. Now, if you take him to, blue light special. He's having it. Okay, but don't do it. It's like this, cross them up. Okay. so, so,
Jade, you should make you should market a proprietary chastity belt.
I really want to because I have all the keys. It'll be a one-stop lock shop. Okay. The master key. Okay. So she let him shop the pootie the first date when they got together. And guess what happened? Pop, boom.
Yeah.
And she cried her guts out because she knew she'd screwed up. Now, why does that screw somebody up? I know there's a certain person out there that's very famous. His initials are MH and says, it's okay if the guy can shop the booty on 2 dates. And I highly disagree with that, okay? Because ultimately, men will wait. I've asked every age group, you guys, every age, from 18 clear to 80. They say, no, we'll wait. If she's worth it, we'll wait. So wait. So then she was told by her deity, sorry, done, out, peace out, don't even worry about it. She cried her guts out. She just really realized that she, yet again, was allowing a man to take from her the most important thing. She thought she could sell herself that way. Now, you guys, please, we don't want, little things coming up and saying, oh my God, I don't agree. This is just men DNA deep. It hasn't really changed. I know. I talk to them.
Well, you can't use, when you try to use sex as a commodity, you're going to lose.
Well, see, women don't see it that way sometimes because they've been told so many things. And we're raised to be beautiful and this is what we have and la-di-da. And yeah, we have it all that way, but we don't need to, open the doors. So anyway, what happened was, for whatever reason, she got another chance, which I was surprised too, because when they say peace out, that's usually what they mean.
Yeah.
And yes, happy ending. I said, okay, we're going to do it again. Don't let him shop the pootie. And guess what she did? She didn't let him shop the pootie. And she got him, and she's got the ring.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's
there's a couple things that you said, and I was like, don't interrupt her. But I just want to bring up a couple really amazing points that you said. The first thing you dove into, like, why do these people want their ex back in the first place? Mm-hmm. And the place where my brain always goes is, why does anybody want anything that's familiar to them? And it's because they're stuck in their comfort zone.
Exactly.
And it's fear that keeps you stuck in your comfort zone. So you always want what's familiar to you because your brain already has those patterns memorized. It's the reason that when your ex comes back, you start repeating the old patterns because your brain's like, oh, we already know what to do in this situation, A, B, C. And it does not break from A, B, C like Jade's client did. It stays with A, B, C because your brain thrives on patterns. Patterns help save you energy. It's why habits develop. So if you're just fixated, like that person who called me, just fixated. The second thing that you were talking about that I was like, yes, there's 2 words that I usually give to my clients that when I feel like they're trying to force things or try to control things, and it's release and allow. If you're taking notes, if you're with us, if you don't have anything to write down on, open the comment section, type in release and allow. It'll help you remember that. You've got to release and allow. That lets go of that fear. You're saying, I do love this person enough to respect the person where they are, release the person from my control, from my will, and allow them to come back to the new and improved me. If you do what Jade just said, which is pour into yourself and improve yourself.
Right.
And then, go ahead.
The last thing I'll say about this is, so you mentioned karma, Jade. Yes, they never had completed their karma. They were always meant to be, but really what she did was I asked her to dive deep for this past about 2 years of what her patterns were and how she set herself up so many times to not be treated well by this man. Yeah. Because ultimately this man always loved her, but she had this big invisible sign that says, I'm a victim, only treat me like this. And it was invisible. Now she had to keep looking at it, so like men only love me because I'm, with sex. And that's the kind of people that she kept driving to her.
Yeah.
And this is where we get in those patterns where we get so down and then we get into that horrid hole of like, why do I keep attracting this guy? Because it's something inside of you that you've learned as a young person,
Yeah.
really little, and it gets to be this horrid monster as you're going along, because that's the only way to attract love to you, because you've been told or something terrible has happened to you, so it's imprinted on you and you feel like, okay, this is the way I have to do it.
Yeah.
And this, what we do is, I do it my way and Dr. Jane does it her way of helping people to unwind and snip and cut and and put new things in so that you can be that truly beautiful person that you already are.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Well said. There's one more point I'd like to make, and it's piggybacking off of something that you said, Jade. Sometimes when you said that you'll go back and you'll look at people's karma and you'll see that things are coming, and you saw this ex, but it wasn't her time to know that yet because she would have just like screwed it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I find that's common, especially in this discussion, like, can I manifest my ex back? There's frustration over when will it happen? When will it happen? What's the timeline? And the fact is, it's exactly what you said, Jade. You could see it, but it wasn't her business yet to know, because if she had known, then it would have ruined the whole thing. So if anybody who's watching is in that situation and you're like, when, that's part of that release and allow. If the timeline was supposed to be yours to know, you would have it.
Which is good, because you know what, that's going to be a great subject for us to do, is when you force things in before it's supposed to happen. What happens?
Bad things.
Ah, let's do it.
Nothing good. All right. Well, for this time, that's all the time that we have. But if you have loved this, liked this, or even if you just love Jade's hot pink eyeshadow as much as I do, give us a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe and hit that little bell so you'll know the next time that Woo Woo Wednesday or one of our other videos drop, to help you live a happier life with lower stress and more success.